There are things in the woods tonight, ancient things that know your name. Even if you've never spoken it out loud. They don't walk like us. They don't sound like us. But they know how to pretend. They wear faces stolen from your memories. Stretch skin over shapes that were never meant to walk upright. And when they find you, they won't just kill you. They wear you. This is the story of skinwalkers, but not the ones you think you know. These are not just witches. Not just cursed humans, but fragments of the first hunger. Beings older than light. Older than fear itself. Welcome to Curiosity Curse, the channel where curiosity isn't just dangerous, it's deadly. You've already looked too long. Now they see you. Primordial origins, where fear was born before gods, before demons, before names. There was hunger. It moved through the formless dark, blind but aware, smelling the first sparks of fear from the first living things. And it learned. Fear was more delicious than flesh. It filled the gaps in the void, made the hunger whole, gave it shape. It learned that fear is sharpest when it wears a familiar face, a predator hiding in plain sight, your kin, your mate, your reflection. This was the birth of the first hunger. It didn't hunt to survive, it hunted to become. The first hunger had no shape of its own, so it wore the first faces it could find, the trembling prey who made the mistake of being afraid. It peeled their faces, or their voices, walked in their skin. And it's been perfecting the art ever since. From primordial horror to skinwalkers when humans arrived, the first hunger adapted. It crawled into our stories, our myths, our warnings to children. On the sacred lands of the Navajo, it found a perfect home in the body of Inoglushi, the one who walks on all fours. To the Navajo, skinwalkers were not just witches. They were human beings infected with the first hunger, flesh and spirit intertwined with something ancient and inhuman. By committing the ultimate sin, the murder of kin, they opened themselves up, becoming vessels for that original predatory force. Their bones twisted, their skin became a mask. They could walk as beast or man, but beneath both shapes was the hunger. The forgotten pantheon they are not underneath first hunger was the only one. There were others. The hollowed whisper. It didn't eat flesh, but identities, leaving only empty vessels behind. The flesh horror, a being that could stitch skin into new shapes, creating grotesque patchwork abominations. The crooked tongue, it didn't just mimic voices, it replaced them, making you speak its words while your mind screamed in silence. These were the primordial skinwalkers, beings who walked between reality and shadow, wearing the faces of everyone you ever trusted. Modern encounters when the past crawls into the present. Imposter outside my tent, 2018 Northern Arizona. Jake was camping with friends when he heard his girlfriend's voice calling him from outside the tent. But his girlfriend was right beside him asleep. He unzipped the tent, and there she was, or something like her, standing at the edge of the dying campfire. Her limbs were too long, her smile stretched too wide, and her eyes didn't reflect the firelight like they should. Jake never left the tent again. His arms were found days later, clawed to ribbons from the inside. The thing that knocks 2021 New Mexico. Every night, a man saw the same figure standing at the tree line. Sometimes a coyote, sometimes a woman, sometimes himself. One night, it knocked on his door, in his own voice. Behavior pattern signs, their closer mimicry of loved and uncanny movements, limbs bending wrong ways, reflective eyes, predator shine even in daylight, checkered skin, like a mask forced too tight over a larger face, whispers calling your name, especially at night if you've made it this far. The first hunger already knows you. Subscribe to Curiosity Cursed, where the stories follow you into your dreams, and the more you know, the closer they get. Subscribe now, while you still recognize your own face. The Navajo had ways to fight back, but even they knew the price of speaking its name. Burning cedar at doorways, never speaking the names of the dead in the dark, carrying ash from a newborn's first fire to ward off mimics. But nothing stops a skinwalker forever. At best, you delay it until you forget, until you doubt, until you hear your own voice calling you from the woods. More sightings. Recent assessed the walking echo Utah. 2022 Lucas woke up to the sound of his own voice calling his dog. His dog was in the tent. He looked out and saw himself distorted, smiling, neck to long, like a reflection caught in melting cluster. Skinless visitor Colorado. 2023 A woman found a human face stretched over her porch railing, still twitching. Security cameras showed something crawling away on all fours, wearing her husband's skin. The last phone call in 2020. A teenager went missing near the Navajo reservation. The last call from his phone was to his mother. The voice on the call wasn't his. It was her own voice telling her to come outside. This isn't folklore. This isn't a story. This is a warning. If you hear your name called from the woods, don't answer. If your dog suddenly speaks, or your friend's face looks a little too tight, or you hear footsteps that sound almost familiar, run. Subscribe to Curiosity, cause the stories you hear here aren't just stories. They're invitations. Welcome to the curse. Some stories leave a mark, some stories leave a scar, and some stories they don't end when the video does. This has been Curiosity Cursed. You've seen too much. Good luck.